All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down the Monday night showdown slate between the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals, a game that should be fun. Let's go ahead and break it down. So we take a peek at the game total, guys. It is at 53.4 total points, so a very high scoring game. We know the Dallas Cowboys have been pretty poor defensively, and the Cardinals have been a team that have let some games slip through their hands. So just a fun game to watch, I think, and it's going to be about a 3.2 point spread. So in terms of builds, I don't think we're going to come to any conclusions there. I do agree with that. Kind of the opposite of the Sunday night game, if self pat on the back, where I'm like, I think I'm recording this video right before halftime. The Seahawks are up 27-0, where I'm like, I think this is like clearly going to be a game in which the Seahawks are going to win. I don't see that here with this Monday night game. So I'm not saying we're going to be able to nail it. Kind of like, I feel like we did a good job with that Sunday game. But I do like this slate. So let's break it down. So let's start with the Arizona Cardinals, guys. We do know that Kyler Murray, he could potentially be active in this game, but he is not going to start. We know that Jacoby Brissett is going to start in this game, and that's most likely because, well, he's just played better than Kyler Murray has. Now, it's been two straight losses, but he's looked good playing the quarterback position. 2 touchdowns in both the games, 300 yards in one of the games. The best matchup you could possibly ask for a quarterback. And I do hesitate a little bit because he is a backup for a reason, right? But he has played extremely well. So I really don't mind the idea of playing him in the captain spot, especially at his price tag. It's just too cheap for a guy in this strong of a matchup, and he could easily go off. I also do really like into Marvin Harrison Jr., who has looked better recently for the Cardinals as well, guys. Needed him to be more productive on a reception basis, okay? But 6 targets in that game, still end up with 58 receiving yards. If he doesn't have a good game, that'd be shocking. Now, we could do builds around him not having a good game. That'd be Trey McBride continue to do what he's done. He was the first look read a lot for Jacoby Brissett. And so, I think they're both firmly in play. It almost does feel like we're kind of picking and choosing, though. I do love Trey McBride. His price tag is too cheap for how good he's played. It is weird paying up that much, though, for a tight end in a matchup where the receivers are just clearly the top plays. And I will say, I'm very surprised at the price tag that we're getting here for Michael Wilson, guys. Michael Wilson is out snapping Zay Jones, and he's been pretty productive in the last 2 games with Jacoby Brissett, 7 DFS points and 8.4 DFS points. And again, this is where you attack the Dallas Cowboys. And so I think this price is just too crazy. If we get 6 DFS points for him at that price tag, I'd be content with it. That's not why we're playing him, but the point stands that he's still fine. And then Zay Jones, guys, worth calling out. He is going to play about 50% of the snaps, maybe in this matchup where, again, you clearly attack with your receivers. We might see a little bit more 11 personnel, and he becomes intriguing. But based off of the salary, I do think we're prioritizing Michael Wilson and then get into one of Harrison or McBride, and then maybe we could think about Zay Flowers on the back end if we need to. For what's worth, I typically don't talk about kickers, guys, but Chad Ryland is pretty appealing in this game, again, with it being a high-scoring game. The prop sites only have him about 6 kicking points, though, just as an FYI. That could end up being 7 DFS points, though, just depending on where he's kicking from. I do want to spend a little bit of time here on the running backs as well. So Zonovan Knight is expected to start this game, Bam Knight, as we can see. First one out there. There's 2 ways to break down really what happened with the Cardinals. One is we trust what they're saying, that it's going to be kind of a running back by committee, as it has been with Zonovan Knight being the lead running back. That would leave us with Michael Carter actually looking like a very good play at his price tag. Okay, Michael Carter has been pretty solid. Okay, I know rushing wise it's not going to show up there. Watching the game, there wasn't that much room for him. He was fine in the past game. I kind of expect him to get 40%. Bam Knight to get about 50%, and then Amari DiMercato to get what's ever left. What's crazy is they benched him, had Dearness Johnson get 18% of the snaps, and then Dearness Johnson is gone, and so they have to bring back Amari DiMercato up. I don't know if I trust Amari DiMercato. Let's just put it that way. So I kind of think it's between Zonovan Knight and Michael Carter. Both are okay plays, especially given the matchup, but both are educated dart throws, if you will. Okay, guys, we are aiming at the 3 here to hit the 19 or 17. We're aiming at the 1 to hit the 20 or 18. Maybe not the best example. That's how I tend to play darts, maybe after a couple of beers. So it's just kind of fun. And so let's go ahead and jump on into the Dallas Cowboys, guys. The toughest part to me is Dak Prescott here. Okay, so arguably had his worst game against Denver. I kind of give him a pass against Denver. Just a very good defense. Other than that, has looked very good thus far this season. So assuming that that's just an outlier and the Dak that we've seen in fine matchups and in some cases tough matchups, we're going to get the good Dak. And if we do, he is firmly in play. That being said, we are a little bit hesitant with that game against Denver. Again, I think that's just a product of the Denver DST. That being said, CeeDee Lamb is someone I think we firmly should begin to. The talent is just undeniable. George Pickens, it is kind of interesting, guys. I've been meaning to talk about this with Pickens. It's funny. He has had so many big plays where if the ref wanted to call OPI, he could. Like, at least four. At least four if it's like big plays they just had. There's a little bit of a hand shove. Now, overall, they're not calling that this year. But that's my way of saying it. I like, given how often he's done it, I wouldn't be shocked if that is something that ends up happening where he hits a big play, finally gets called for an OPI. That being said, it isn't getting called this year. And I mean, he looks good. This offense is flowing pretty well with him and Dak. And so I think he's a fine click as well. Just the target share should be there for him as well. And then from there, guys, Jake Ferguson actually gets a pretty darn good matchup here against the Arizona Cardinals. They average about 6.7 receptions to opposing tight ends and about almost 70 receiving yards. So he's also firmly in play for me. And so this is kind of the issue that I'm having on the slate is I like the Dallas pass catchers a little bit more. I like Dak, though, much less than Jacoby Brissett. Okay, so it's kind of a weird slate in that dynamic. We do like Brandon Aubrey here. He's a fine play. And then what's interesting is kind of the price tag that we're getting on Turpin. So Turpin probably, he's someone that will typically get a few design plays for him. Maybe he pops a big play. Don't hate that. Flournoy has kind of been the receiver number 3 lately. Again, if you want to punt, not a terrible punt. But that's really it from there. I think we are mostly just going Javonte Williams as the running back. Blue ended up playing about 18% of the snaps in the last game. That game was a blowout, though. And Malik Davis even got 16. Hunter Lemke might get a little bit of work, but we don't really care about that too much. So Javonte's fine. I just haven't found a need to go out of my way to target him. So for this specific build, obviously with us getting to Brissett and Michael Wilson, we probably would want to get to another pass catcher here for the Cardinals. I wouldn't mind a build like this, but obviously this doesn't work, right? It's just not that logical in regards to the plays that we're getting to. So this is where I would adjust, probably go with Marvin Harrison Jr. And we're still like got a lot of salary left over. And this has kind of been the most difficult part for me on this slate is I feel like this is a pretty darn good build. Don't like the fact that we're passing up on Trey McBride or Dak, but overall I think this is a pretty logical build in general. And let's just go ahead and take a peek at what kind of the top lineups are going to be looking like here, guys. Again, just going to do 5 lineups for you, Ron, to get kind of a summary of what we're looking at here. Let's see the ones with Jacoby Brissett and the captain. So Brissett, Dak, Trey McBride, Harrison, Aubrey, Wilson. I can't really deny that build. I mean, that's pretty darn solid. It makes a lot of logical sense too. Maybe not the solo Dak part with Brandon Aubrey. Decent floor build though in general. Like I think if we're doing that, we'd want to probably get to, I don't know. I mean, I do like that. It's a pretty solid build overall. Let's see this one. Brissett, Lamb, McBride, Ferguson, a little bit better. Bam Knight, Turpin. Okay. And the top build is going to be Dak, Trey McBride, Pickens, Brissett, Aubrey, and Turpin. Don't mind it. Turpin's kind of at projection-wise from like prop sites at 4.5 for his fantasy score. And so if he does end up doing that, obviously at that price tag is pretty appealing. I like Michael Wilson a little bit more, but obviously he's a little bit more priced up. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys would like access to any of the other NFL tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to those tools for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Including that is going to be all the NBA tools, all the prop tools, plus much more, and fantasy golf tools, all available for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Appreciate you guys being here. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and as always, let's keep cashing.